What is up, Sneeples? It's spoiler season. Once again, we got a ton of Part The Mistveil spoilers to go over. This is the day one recap. Let's get right into it. All right, first off, from Carolina Alva, we have Bonds of Agony. This is a Majestic assassin attack action. Pitches blue, costs 0, comes in for 1, blocks for 3, has stealth. And then says, if you play or activate 3 or more attack reactions, this chain link, this gets +3. And when this hits a hero, you look at their hand, choose a card. You look at their deck, their hand, and their graveyard for up to 3 cards of the same name as the chosen card, and then they shuffle. So I just won an Age event using Pitch That Kano, and if this card hit Pitch That Kano, it's over. That's okay. This card does have to hit. It does need the 3 attack reactions to happen. That's chain link. So we would have to see quite a bit of pumps being added to it for it to get over. So probably your opponent should want their entire hand. You see this. Moving on from 3 floating, we have a ninja attack action. This is Chase the Tail. This is a Majestic. That is a red pitch, cost 1, comes in for 4, blocks for 3, and says combo. When this attacks, if a Crouching Tiger was the last attack action, this combat chain, it gets go again, and the next Crouching Tiger gets +3. So in its full value, it is a 1 for 7 with go again, which is very, very gnarly, as you can imagine. You do need a Crouching Tiger before and then after to get its full value. But you gotta imagine Zin's gonna be making quite a bit of Crouching Tigers, so this is probably gonna work very well with him. Also, there's cards like Predatory Streak that can get you multiple Crouching Tigers to use for your combat chain. So, yeah, Chase the Tail gonna be very, very big in that kitty cat deck. Next up, we have Matt Rogers Spoiler. This is the weakest link. This is a generic Majestic that is a red pitch, costs 2, comes in for 6, blocks for 3. And says, when this hits a hero, look at their hand, choose a card without a base defense. And then if you do, they discard it and you draw a card. So you get to draw a card as well as make a discarded card. Now this works against KO with Pulpings and Wall Rides. This works against Dash with all of her items. This works against Prism with all the auras and pigments. And then in Part The Mistveil terms, this works against Zin with Crouching Tigers. So if you find a Zin that has a Crouching Tiger or a Chi even, that's a card without a defense value that you can use the weakest link to have discarded. So the weakest link, pretty strong, especially in Part The Mistveil. Next one from Vinzendo Nerdice. We have Rlocals, a Majestic generic attack action. That is a blue pitch, costs 0, comes in for 2, blocks for 3, and says, if this is defended by an attack or by an action card, so just any action card, this gets +2. When this hits a hero, discard a card. If you do, they discard a card. So it's very, very interesting. It could be a 0 for 4 that has a discard effect. However, you'd have to discard yourself. You know, this could be very good if you have like a chain hand. You're like, I can't get rid of this card. I don't know how. This might be one way to do it. It's very interesting. I mean, making your opponent discard cards really good at the cost of your own. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe that was just going to be a random blue that you didn't really want to arsenal. Maybe that's okay. So Rlocal, very interesting card. It's a 0 for 4. That's a blue, right? So it's not bad. Okay, next up is from Sunflower Samurai. We have Attuned with Cosmic Vibrations. This is a Majestic Mystic action. That's an attack. So all 3 of the new heroes can play it. It is a blue pitch that costs 0, comes in for 2 damage, and blocks for 2. It says, when this attacks a hero or defends a hero attack, reveal the top card of their deck. If the revealed card is blue, it gets +3, either attack or defense. So if you block with it, you reveal the top card of the deck, it's blue, now it blocks for 5. If you attack with it, you reveal the top deck, now it's coming in for 5. If it's blue, right? So could be a 0 for 5. 0 for 5 block, 0 for 5 attack, could be. Or 0 for 2. That pitch is blue. So overall, this card is just good value. The high is high and the low is kind of just average, on par. Just a nick from Dice Commandos. This is a red pitch Majestic that costs 0 and blocks for 3. And it says choose one or both. Target attack action card with 1 or less base attack gets +5. And then target attack with stealth hit. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. So, this is an attack action that could be a 0 for 5. Or could just be, having it where you banish a card off the top. That's very good with New. New wants to be banishing cards, so that could work out very nice. And then there's a few cards like the one that we saw earlier that is Bonds of Agony that has a 1 attack. This can give it +5, right? Plus there's existing cards that works out pretty well. So, you can come in for blue Infect for 1. Now it becomes a 6, right? So very, very cool card. I'm kind of curious how often we'll see it in CC, but we'll find out. Next up, pick 2 pieces. This is given to us by Tor Zero. It is an assassin attack action. It is a common, so you can see this in red, yellow, and blue. It comes in for 3 attack, defense for 3, and costs 0. And it has stealth. If you play or activate an attack reaction this changing, it gets +1, and damage that would be dealt cannot be permitted. So very good against Enigma with all the spectral shields that would have board. This gets around the board. On top of that, it also a little bit of a bump, so it becomes a it becomes a breakpoint number from 4. So pick 2 pieces, I actually think is a very good common assassin card that I could see get played outside. Next up from Lucille de Ovidia. These are our French friends. This is another common. It is First Tenet of Chi, Tide. So this is a mystic action. All 3 heroes can play it. It is a blue pitch. It costs 0. It blocks for 3. And it says your next blue attack this turn gets +2, and it has to go again. So this is a not a great card on its own, but then there's a lot of cards out there that says if this is your second blue card played, then you get an additional benefit. And this card allows this to be your first blue card, which will then allow your second blue card to have its full value. So First Tenet of Chi, I think, is going to be very good within the Mystic heroes, hence why it's a Mystic action. All right, and it blocks for 3 in it's blue. So that's nice fit, right? It costs 0. That's all. It passes the test. Next up from the Spike Feeders, we have our equipment. This is a rare, so it is the draftable equipment, Heirloom of Snakehide. This is a Mystic Assassin equipment for the chest. Blocks for 2, has Battle Worn, so it can block for 2 and then block for 1 and still stay around. Has Cloaked, which means you can equip it face down, so one necessarily doesn't know what you have equipped. While this is equipped face down, at the start of your turn, if you have exactly 1 life, you may turn this face up. So, one of those things where you have to play a little close to the end to get the full value of this card. But maybe as an assassin, maybe that's what you're doing. I'm not sure. We'll find out how she plays. That is. Next up from Red Zone Rogue, we have Persuasive Prognosis. This is an assassin attack action, another Majestic, another one that comes in for 1, blocks for 3. This one's a blue pitch that costs 0, has stealth, and says when this hits a hero, banish top card of their deck. They look at their hand and banish a card with the same color as the banished card. So that's one's really gnarly. When this banishes an action card, gain 1 life. So on top of that, it has a little bit of life gain. What is going on here? This card has everything. It banishes a card from the top of the deck, which as new, that's what you want to do, right? And then it banishes a card from their hand of the same color. So especially if new, if you hit 2 blues, okay, well, this is nice. And then you gain a little bit of life. So that's pretty damn gnarly. Persuasive Prognosis, a very, very good card. Makes sense why it's a Majestic. It is just a 1 attack, right? But it's a 1 attack that's going to need a block. So, as annoying as that 1 attack is, you better block. Next up from Mitch Leslie, we get our first legendary. This is Mask of Recurring Nightmares. This is a Mystic Assassin equipment for the head. It blocks for 2, but it has Blade Break, so you're only getting the block value once. And it says once per turn attack reaction, 3 Mystic resources, pitch your chi. Target defending hero banishes a card from their hand. And that's an attack reaction, right? So, if they're not blocking with their entire hand, which oftentimes they won't, they want to kind of come back, especially if you're going against someone like Zen, right? They don't want to come back at you. You can force a card out, right? That is just an attack reaction too. It does need chi resources to make it work, but you can keep doing that every single turn as long as you have Mask of Recurring Nightmare. As long as you didn't block that card, you can continue doing it as long as you have chi. So that's a really powerful thing, and it's just an attack reaction, right? That's all there really is to it. You can come in with a dagger and still make this happen. So it's really, really, really powerful, but you do need to meet the requirements for it. Next up from Blue Pitch, what a name to have in this set. This is a Majestic Mystic Ninja action. It is a blue pitch that blocks for 3, costs 1, called Shifting Winds of the Mystic Beast. It's very cool art. You got a little white tiger in it. Whenever you play a Crouching Tiger this turn, name a card, it gets that name. If a chi was pitched to play this, create 2 Crouching Tigers in your hand. And it has going in. So you can have your tigers become a different name. This can work pretty well, especially outside of Limited. When you're like playing with Crouching Tigers and Germans or whatever the case, you can have your tigers be, a combo starter, right? Whatever your tigers need to be, that's what you get. And guess what? If you pitch the chi, you can make some tigers. Very interesting card. Kind of interesting to see if this was going to get played. We'll find out. Now from Breezy, we have Siren's Call. This is a Mystic Assassin attack reaction. This is a Majestic. This is a red pitch that costs 1, blocks for 3, and says look at the defending hero's hand. Choose a blue card. Add it to the chain link as a defending card. If you do, draw a card. So you can basically take the blue out of the hand, force them to block with it, and that could be the blue card they needed to get going, right? So on top of that, you get to draw a card. That's really nice, especially if you can draw an attack reaction to get over, or some way to another attack that the first one had go again, whatever case, or just a good arsenal, right? But yeah, Siren's Call definitely going to be forcing your opponent to block with a card they probably don't want to, right? Pulse Wave Harpoon is a very good card because of that. So Siren's Call can be the same deal. All right, next up from Push the Point, we have Intimate Inducement. This is a common. So we're going to see it probably in all 3 pitch values here. This is a Mystic Assassin attack reaction. It blocks for 3. This one costs 0. And the blue version says target assassin or mystic attack action card gets +1. So probably the yellows +2, probably the reds +3. Look at the top 2 cards of defending hero's deck and choose a card. If it's blue, it has 0 base defense value. Put that chosen card onto the active chain link as a defending card and the rest on top in any order. So a very interesting one. One that's not as disruptive as the one we just talked about, but one that does allow you to take, top deck manipulation, basically. You can choose them to block with one of their very good cards, so you don't have to get it played against you. Or you can just take a blue out of their deck. It's not going to have any sort of block value, so basically you're just taking it out of their deck. And especially if it feels like something like a cheat, right? Then now you can force them to block with chi. And now that's how you get chi out of your opponent's deck so that they can't activate some really cool stuff with that card. So an Intimate Inducement, an anti-chi card, as well as just, basically stacking your opponent's deck to at least by 1 card, making it work. Next up from We Make Best, we have Tooth and Claw. This is a Majestic Mystic Ninja attack action. This is a red pitch that costs 0, comes in for 4 attack, blocks for 3, and says, when this attacks, you may reveal any number of Crush Tigers from your hand. If you reveal 1 or more, it gets go again. So 0 for 4, go again. Not bad. 2 or more, it gets +1. 0 for 5, go again. Not bad. And then 3 or more, draw a card. So it's actually really insane. So yeah, finding a way to put some tigers in your hand and then coming up 2 from law. Obviously, that is going to be a great turn. It's gonna work out very nice. 2 Claw just being a 0 for 4 that blocks for 3 is already pretty good on its own. So even if you don't meet any conditions, this could be just a good ender as a 0 for 4. All right, and then finally our last spoiler of this video. We're going to have spoiler recaps every day. Is from Yuki Lead Bender, Emissary of Wind, a generic attack action. This is a rare, so you're going to see this in all 3 pitch values. The red pitch is a 0 for 4 attack that blocks for 2. Probably yellow pitch is 3, blue pitch is 2. And says, when this attacks, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If you do, this gets go again. So something like Seek Horizon, instead of putting it on the top, you put it on the bottom. You know, if it's just one of those things where this card's just not going to be good right now, like I don't want to, you know, have it. You know, I would rather just get 2 attacks off, and you know, maybe that's when you do it. Otherwise, this is a 0 for 4. That's just good value. So maybe you're just fine with it being a 0 for 4, something to close the combat with, or just blocking with your other 3 cards just coming in for 4. It's also very, very good. So I think this card is pretty nice. All right, that is our day 1 spoilers. I'm sorry I was a little late on this one. If you're still watching, I did get first at the Age event. We'll have a video about that. It's maybe another deck going or something. But thanks for watching up to this point. We'll get you the next spoilers, and I'll see you probably tomorrow morning, maybe.
I want to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there, and here is all of you guys. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate all the support. It helps me, Gabe, a huge amount. And thanks for watching. Keep on fapping.